Alright, amazing viewers, this is Buberski's ultimate destination for virtual adventures. But today we're not going to be playing a video game, we are going to be making one. If you ever wanted to make a game, well today is the day you get to do so. You don't need any video game development experience at all. I don't want any coding at all done by you, the viewer. But today we together will make something amazing. And without further ado, let's just jump into it. Step number 1, you need a computer. Step number 2, let's make a folder. And we're going to call it game. Now this folder is going to store all of our game files. So how do we make a game file? That's step number 3, right? We have our computer, we have our folder, now we need to put files into it. So we need some sort of way to write files. Just like in Notepad or Word in Microsoft, you need a way to write stuff and then save it, right? And format it properly. So yeah, we need an editor. Now we can, download all these fancy tools and stuff if you really want to, but I'm going to go with something pretty straightforward today, Notepad++. Now if you go to notepadplus.org, this website right here that I'm highlighting, and right on the left there's a download tab, and you can download the most recent version of the software. Now I already have it installed. I wanted to be ahead of the game for this video, so I decided to get it early. But let me show you exactly what it looks like when we boot it up. So this is what it looks like. Pretty straightforward. It's just it looks like Notepad, right? You can type into it. This is our editor. This is what we're going to be writing our code into and saving our files. All right, so we now have this lovely editor. Now what are we going to do with it? There is one really important thing that I want to explain. Now this is going to be the most complex thing that you will need to know. And mind you, you're not going to need to code anything, like I said. You're not going to need to know how to code or any of these languages. But you do need to know that we are going to be using a language today. Our program needs to actually run in some sort of programming language in order to run. It is a machine, it doesn't understand English or whatever language you guys speak, but it does understand machine language, and the way to communicate to a machine is through code. That being said, let's keep it really, really simple. So today we're going to use 2 different languages. One is going to be JavaScript, and one is going to be HTML. Now HTML, the only thing that we're going to use in HTML is we're going to run our program into the web browser. This is just an easy way for us to visually see what we're actually running and to test our program to see if our game is any good. And it's really good for you guys to test as well, because you don't need to download any extra, any extra software or anything. You can just run it right on your browser if you already have an internet browser installed. Okay, so step number 1 is to create our HTML page. So if you look at the top here, there's all these different options in the menu. The one that we're most curious about is this language one. Now this is all different language filters. So if we're going to code something in JavaScript, we want to find JavaScript, which is under J. Click on JavaScript. And now when we save this file, we're going to save it as. We're going to find our lovely folder called game, which is on our desktop, and we're going to save this as our game.javascript file, or game.js. And so if you look, it's saved it as a .js. Now that is what is important. When we run files, our computer has to be able to decipher which type of file it is, and different files operate differently. So by saving it as a .js file, it knows that this is a JavaScript file, and it will handle it accordingly. All right, so we have this lovely little JS file. Now we need to get our HTML file created. So if you just click on this little plus symbol next to this page, it creates another blank document. We're going to click on this language tab once again, and we're going to select the H section and HTML. Now we're just going to save this as, you can say whatever you want. I'm going to save it as launch. Because that's what it's going to do. It's just going to launch our program pretty much. And as you can see, we want to save it into our game folder. You won't see any of the other files there as of now, but if we click on our game folder here, you can clearly see that there is a .js and a .html file both in the folder. This is great. This is what we want, guys. This is good stuff. But our documents now have no code in them. So what's the next step? We need to get some code. All right, guys, so we need some code. So if you go to your internet browser, you can visit this site called chat.openai.com. And it's a free site. You have to create an account when you to use it, but it's completely free to use. At least version 3.5 is, and that's what we're going to be using today. So I just use my Google account to log in. You might have to create your account whatever way you want to, but it's completely free and it's a trustworthy site. It's awesome. So the way it works is it's just simply think of it as a person. It's like a tutor that's there to guide you and give you help. It's going to write our code today. So that's our purpose, is it's going to be our code writer. And we're going to give it guidance on what to write. So hello, I am wanting to make a video game. I want to code this game in HTML and JavaScript. As you can see, those are the two languages that we set our sheets up for, so we want to let it know that that's the languages we want the code written in. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to say, let it know the names of the files that we've already saved. So I want majority of the code written in JavaScript. Can we have this code written for a file named game.js? I want you to write the game's code. I want a fun, interactive game. Something unique and different. And I really enjoy RPG games, because that's just what I like. But for you guys, I want you guys to add in any element there that you prefer. So if you like, car games, or you like checkers, or you like, but you got to understand that this is mostly going to be a 2D game that we're trying to build. So we'll try to keep the game mechanics somewhat simple, and like Snake or Pong or things like that. Two-dimensional games. Mind you, there's a lot of really cool two-dimensional games like Zelda, Super Nintendo Zelda is amazing. Stardew Valley, pretty awesome 2D game. Terraria, just throwing it out there. Anyways, so I want a fun, interactive game, something unique and different. I really enjoy RPG games. Can you write the code for this? So we're just asking it to simply write us some code, and let's see what happens. So it looks like it's created some sort of enemy. Like I said, you guys don't need to understand any of that. All you need to know is this little button here copies that little segment of code. And the one thing that you need to know is which file is for which type. So if you quickly look here, it shows you this is for the game.js file, and this is for our index.html. I don't know why it's calling it index, but it's for our HTML file. So we're going to click copy. We're going to go over to our Notepad++. This is our HTML file, and we're going to paste this code right into there, and then we're going to save the file. Okay. Now we're going to head back to this OpenAI, and this is our JavaScript file. So the same thing, it gives us little tips. It says you can add more logic here, but it's going to have some sort of basic thing set up for us, it looks like. So let's see what it made. I have no idea what this is going to do. This could be terrible. But anyways, let's just see. The most important thing is you want to make sure that this right here, in this little script tag on your HTML file, is the exact same name as your .js file. And that's the most important thing, because this needs to be able to find this file. It's the hardest thing about this whole process. If you can nail that, guys, you're doing really good. So let's open our folder now. We have our two files here, and we're going to run this launch file and see what happens. Simple RPG, start game. Game started. Defeat the enemies. Start game. So our game produces some sort of text, and it produces that text every time we click this button, and that is our game. Not very exciting yet, eh? I know, I know. So how can we make this game a little bit better? Okay, I changed my mind. I don't really want to go down the RPG route. How about something with movement mechanics and a ball? Add gravity or physics, and let's output it to the center of the screen. Let's see what happens here. So it's giving us a new HTML file, so let's copy that quickly. And we're going to go back to our Notepad++, and we're going to paste that over our HTML. We're going to save it always. Go back to our ChatGPT file here. Oh, it's giving us some CSS, guys. I'll show you where to paste that stuff. We might have to actually create a new page. So this is the CSS. CSS is a type of styling, so it's added some sort of styling. I asked it to center the stuff in the screen, so it's going to try to style that. It wants to style it through CSS. I'm going to ask it not to. Can you add the CSS code within the HTML file? There we go. So now we don't even have to worry about creating another file. Mind you, you guys know how to create another file easily. We could just save another file as a, create this page, go over to language, find CSS, save it as CSS, and name it whatever the heck you want. We're not going to even worry about that though. It's all done within our style tag, within our HTML file. But like I said, we don't need to worry about any of that. Just ask it to do it all within one file, and it will. It caters to your needs, which is nice. So anyways, we need to copy all this code now for a JavaScript file, so let's go back to that. If you hold Control and hit A, it selects everything, and then Control V pastes. So I'm just going to paste over everything within the file and replace all of the code with the new setup. So let's see what happens here. And now we have a ball bouncing inside of a canvas, which is in the center of the screen, and it's affected by gravity. Pretty cool. Okay, so we have some ball bouncing around in a box, but we got to add some more elements to this game. This isn't really gamey yet. Okay, let's keep everything as is, but I want to add a character image, or I want to add a player controlled character to the game. For now, make this character spawn in the bottom left corner and have it have basic movement controls with arrow keys, including a jump and gravity effects. Gravity should affect this player. Let's make the player a blue square for now. Also, can we make ground tiles across the bottom of the screen and prevent the player and ball from falling through? eyeballing through them. This is a lot of changes. Let's see what it can do. Alright, it's finished writing the code. I'm going to take this. This is all JavaScript code, so I'm just going to go to my JS file again. Control A to select everything, Control V to paste everything, Control S to save everything. It's literally 3 buttons and you're there. And then we're going to go back to our folder, our game folder, and double click on our launch. So now we can see some ground. However, I don't see the player, so I need to tell it that it has made a mistake. I do not see the player on the canvas. I apologize for that oversight. It appears there is a mistake in my code. I appreciate your patience. Let me correct it for you. So it knows it screwed up again. It's a little bit off its game tonight. You know, it's probably a busy night for it. And just like humans, it does make mistakes, so you got to be alert and aware of that sometimes. But you can tell it, you know, you made a mistake. Can you try again? And the good thing about running things in your browser is you can just constantly see the results and see if it's what you want. So now we have this lovely little player. We can jump. You know, that jump is not very high, but we do have a player. Pretty cool. And we can jump. So far we have a ball that bounces around inside of a canvas, and we have a blue square that we can move, which is the character. I think that's kind of lame. I think it's time we get some graphics in our game. What do you guys say? So step 1, we got to create a folder. So I've created a folder into our game directory, and it's called images, and we're just going to store all of our images inside that folder. Now we got to get some images. So let's head off to our browser here. We're going to go to this awesome site called bing.create or bing.com/create. And within this website, you can search or describe an image that you want to get it to output. So I want a 2-dimensional character model for a side-scroller game similar to Mario. Please return just the character image with a plain black background. Alright, so this is what it's outputted. And it's pretty much what I described. Like, I asked for a 2-dimensional character model for a side-scroller game similar to Mario, and it's pretty much just give me Mario, but that's what I expected. This guy doesn't look like Mario though, so let's use this guy. This guy looks kind of cool. So we're going to download this image here. Okay, so I went back to bing.create. I typed in, I want some construction background for a pixel game, and it outputted these for me. I'm going to use this one, I really like it. And I'm just going to cut off probably the top part of it. So I'm going to open this image in some sort of editing program. So I'm going to open it up in Paint, because that's just what we have on our computers, or at least most people do. Whatever your program is to edit, you know, photos with. By default, Paint comes on Windows, I think. So let's just use that. We're going to go down to our downloads. We're going to grab this file here, and we're going to grab this man. We're going to crop him. Crop that guy. Nice. It's pretty cool. And we're gonna resize it so that it's 120 pixels by 120 pixels. And I'll explain why I'm doing that after, but for now we're just gonna leave that there. We're gonna save it. And there's one more thing we need to do. We need to remove the background. So I'm gonna show you how to do that really quick. If we go to remove.bg, you can upload an image from here. We're going to take our image that we just put up there, and we're going to remove its background as so. Now I can download this image, and we have him. And that's our man. Okay, so we're back to our folder. We have created our file, or our folder called images within our directory of our game. And we have pasted both of our images in them. I've renamed them, just so they're easy for me to reference. I named the character image character. He looks pretty cool. And this is our lovely little background image, and I did cut off the top, and I just cropped it in Paint. I left it the size it was. Don't really care about that size because I'm going to use it as a background image, so we're gonna pretty much stretch it anyways. Or Yeah, so next thing we're gonna do is add these things into our game to give it a little bit of pop. So, okay, so I just typed in a little bit of a message here. I said, okay, I want everything to remain as it is, but I want to replace the character's blue square with an image. Use images slash character.png, so I'm referencing the point at which, or where the image is, the location. And I want to display this image as 120 pixels by 120 pixels, so that's width and height. That's the same size as the image that we saved. So that's why I wanted to save it as a specific size. So I know exactly what it's going to look like. It's not going to be stretched or distorted or anything. It's going to look exactly like that. Um, can you rotate the image to face left or right based on the direction? I want the ball to interact with the player's character, similar to a bouncy ball. I also, so this version says it added the collision between the ball and the player, and it increases in velocity. I also, can we add a target in the top left, and if the ball hits the target, it increments a score track score tracker in the top right of the canvas. All right, so hopefully this will add uh, a score tracker and a target to our element. Let's see what. All right, so I copied the code, pasted it into the program. So let's see what happens. So we have a bouncy ball now that that accelerates, because we did ask it to accelerate, which is pretty awesome. Um, but yeah, we got a bouncy ball now that we can bounce around. We have a score tracker, and every time we hit it, it gives us a point. It's really hard to hit it though because it's directly in the corner, as you can see. Oh, we got it. And it actually resets the ball, which is kind of cool. Guys, we've officially made our first game. Okay, the only thing that our game is missing is a background image. So I just want to set the canvas. Okay, keep everything the same, but can you set the canvas background to an image? Set it to images slash background dot png. Make the image cover the entire background of the canvas without repeating. This, guys, might be the icing on the cake. So as you can see, it's just outputting our code. This is awesome. We're just going to copy and paste this bad boy into our JavaScript file. Replace everything because it's getting pretty long and it's going to get a little complex to try to figure out where things go. So as you can see, I'm going to continue generating. I just want to see when it's finished. I typically don't copy it any other way than that button at the top because you can definitely miss some things. I really hope we can get everything. So as you can see, we're going to update. Come all the way up here. We're going to copy. We're going to take our JavaScript file, we're going to save it, and we're going to launch our game, and hopefully it has the background image. And guys, Construction Dan is in the construction yard, bouncing around a ball. Oh yeah, let's go. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys want me to do another video on how to make games, you know, maybe even in a different language, if you want to make something a little more complex, let me know down in the comments that you enjoyed this, and smash that like button to show me that you want me to, and I will. I just want to say thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope to do this again soon, and I hope you guys learned a lot. There's a lot of useful tools out there, so now you guys know about them, and that's what I wanted to do today, was just raise awareness about those tools. So have a lovely day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Poberski.